Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for listening to Talk and Fit, or if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching it. If you are choosing to watch my face for an extended period of time or listen to my voice for an extended period of time, I genuinely appreciate that, and I will not take advantage of your time. I just want to let you know real quick that if you do get any value out of this episode or this video, just please be sure to share it out. That's really all I ask. I'm not trying to sell you anything, or I definitely not in a position to put ads on the show, but if I was, I wouldn't. I just want to put out good quality, long form information. So if you feel that you're getting value from this video or this podcast, I would really appreciate it if you shared it to someone, or just to social media, or just like it, or just leave a comment. Just do something at the end to support it. And I really, really appreciate it. So, for today, I really want to cover a big, big topic. The headline might be a little catchy or a little grabby, but it is true. And it's, why a 1100 or 1200 calorie diet is making you gain fat. And when you hear that, that might resonate with you because maybe you've tried these super restrictive diets before. Maybe you feel like you're barely eating and you can't seem to lose fat or lose weight, and you're wondering why. Because the logical solution to that problem, right, would be like, oh, well, I should probably just eat even less if I want to continue to lose weight. And while that is true in logic, it is not beneficial and will just cause you to gain more fat over time. But again, you're probably sitting there going like, well, how am I going to gain fat if I'm eating the less food? Especially if you listen to me, and I'm always telling people how a calorie deficit is the only way to lose weight. But there are thresholds to this. And this kind of speaks to a bigger topic that I'm going to be covering a lot with my clients this year, and really trying to hone in the messaging on so I can really get it to a broader audience, because I feel like it's very, very important. And it's this whole system of how health and fitness is viewed, and really how we sacrifice a lot of benefits in order to try to lose weight, or we just don't see exactly the full spectrum of what we're trying to do here when we're improving our health and fitness. And I apologize if I take a sip of cold brew in between. Um, it's not even 5 a.m. yet. But anyway, so the concept that I'm talking about is these like four. I don't even know what I want to call them yet. I said four pillars, but I found like that sounds kind of cliche. But these four categories of health and fitness. So basically, when you're improving your fitness, or you're improving your nutrition, you start working out, you start eating better. These are the four areas that you are mainly working towards to see results. There's your physical health, and that is going to be like all the blood pressure, cholesterol, metabolic markers, thyroid, metabolism, bone density, like insulin sensitivity, like basically any avoiding chronic disease, like all this stuff from improvements in your physical health. So that's one aspect. Okay, remember there's four. First one is your physical health. So all the stuff I just talked about and more. Then there's like your mental health. Okay, and this can speak to things like anxiety and depression, which it's scientifically proven that working out and exercising improves symptoms of depression and anxiety. I'm not downplaying that. I'm not saying that you don't need to still see a therapist or something like that, but exercising is just scientifically proven to improve those things. So it's not opinion, it's just fact. But your mental health also would cover like your cognitive function, like your ability to think clearly, your sleep, how you respond to stress, like all that stuff improves with working out. And also, physical health would also cover things like hormone health, things like that. And then there's your physical performance. So this is things, like how you perform in workouts, your strength, how fast you can run, how your endurance is. But it's also physical performance in the sense of like being able to get in and out of a chair without pain, being able to go up the stairs without pain, being able to play with your kids, being able to play with your grandkids. So we covered physical health, mental health, uh, physical performance, and then there is a body composition, and body composition is going to be how you look, and well, it could also put like body weight in there. So this is basically like, getting lean and toned or losing 20 pounds, and like that's you're going to be in your body composition. So these are your four areas of health and fitness that are going to improve as you improve these habits in your life, and you just build a healthier lifestyle. Now, where is the issue there? Where is the problem? Because there's a problem with this. Because realistically, if I tell you that all of these things are going to improve just by exercising and eating better, there's really not a good argument to not do them. So, where is the issue here? The issue is that, and I don't have a specific reason for it. We could blame marketing, we could just blame society. I don't know what you want to blame. But the issue is that people seem to, 9 out of 10 times, only pursue fitness or nutrition goals because they want to change their body composition. None of the other goals or areas seem to strike an emotional chord unless you're someone who went through like some big medical thing, like you had a heart attack, or you found out you have type 2 diabetes and you really need to get your health on track. But even both of those, most of those people, there is still an underlying body composition benefit that they're chasing. But there just doesn't seem to be a motivation to work on the other three. Body composition seems to be the only thing, the main driver in anyone pursuing a health or nutrition or fitness goal. So why is that an issue? Well, the issue, first of all, is that that's only 25% of the benefit that you're going to get. So it's not that it's not important, but it's not more important than the other three. And it's only 1/4 of the things that you're working towards. Again, why is this an issue? Well, it's also an issue because body composition changes can be the hardest to make because they take a little bit longer. Like as soon as you start exercising, you start improving your performance, you start improving your mental health, you start improving your physical health pretty quickly. It's just that people aren't tracking those metrics, too closely, and they don't care as much about them, so they don't hold as much weight in their eyes as their body composition changes. The other issue is that when you start exercising, okay, so just exercising, just working out, so you don't change anything about your nutrition, you just start working out, you will start improving physical performance, you will start improving physical health, and you will start improving mental health, even with making zero nutritional changes. And if you can work out consistently, you can still probably see some body composition changes without changing your diet. So again, why is that a problem? Well, the problem is that your diet, your nutrition, is probably the most important thing when it comes to changing body composition. Nutrition is also the hardest thing for most people to work on. So again, this is just digs into the problem even deeper. And I know I'm just talking about problems now, but I'm going to talk about solutions. But the problem here is that the only health fitness pillar that people care about is also attached or controlled by the hardest habit to start. And because you have to eat multiple times per day, every day, with working out, you really only have to do it once a day, 3, 4 times a week. Eating, you have to do multiple times per day, every single day, forever. And people have a lot of social and emotional factors that play into the nutrition choices that they make. So you have this really hard habit to build, and it's attached to the only area that people seem to give a shit about when it comes to health and fitness. So what happens is people will start exercising, they will start trying to change their nutrition. The nutrition is difficult to change. They don't see body composition changes right away, and then they quit. So they are willing to sacrifice their physical health, their mental health, their physical performance. And again, when I say physical performance, I'm not just talking about being able to sprint. I'm talking about being able to play with your kids, being able to get in and out of chairs without pain, being able to get yourself to the toilet when you're 70, 80. Like, these are physical performance metrics. People are willing to sacrifice all of that just because they're not losing weight as fast as they want. And their weight loss and or body composition changes is mainly controlled by the habit that's the hardest to build. What else is the problem here? One more, I promise. Um, sorry. One more problem is that when it comes to body composition, people are also willing to drastically harm the other three health fitness pillars in order to achieve body composition goals. This brings us circles back to our ties into our topic today. People are willing to eat starvation diets, which will damage your physical performance, will damage your physical health, and will take a toll on your mental health in order to just see body composition changes. This is an issue. Like, these are all problems that I'm talking about, and they're big problems. They're not small problems, okay? They're not like the light bulb in my kitchen that is out right now that I need to change, right? That's a small problem. These are big issues. People are willing to not see results in physical performance, physical health, and mental health if they don't see immediate results in body composition. People are also willing to damage their physical health, mental health, and physical performance in order to see body composition changes. And this is why these yo-yo diet cycles exist, because you're chasing one aspect of health and fitness, one of four. You're chasing 25% of it, and you're sacrificing 75% of it to try to get the 25%, or you're willing to abandon 100% of the benefits because you didn't see body composition changes on your terms. So really think about that. Like, that's how impactful this stuff is. When you are making these changes, you can change your physical health, mental health, physical performance, and your body composition. But you're willing to give it all up if you don't see body composition changes on your timeline. And you're willing to damage 75% of it to see changes in 25%. It's fucking crazy when you break it down like that mathematically, but that's how it is. And I've been there. Like, I've definitely been there. I've been the person who is like willing to damage my physical health or mental health or performance in order to look better, in order to get more jacked, in order to get more lean. And I've done it. I did it for years. I mean, I never did anything crazy. Like, I never did steroids or anything like that. I never, ate 1,100 calories, but I definitely went on some really like low calorie restrictive diets. I definitely did like long stretches of workouts that were very harmful on my body just to try to look better. I've definitely had not the best diet in terms of just focusing on what's going to make me look better and not focusing on what's going to make me healthier, just across the board. I've made these mistakes. So I'm not judging anyone. I'm not saying that I, have been doing it right all along, but I've figured out how to do it right. And I want to help people do it. So anyway, let's break down exactly why these 1100 and I always throw out 1100 or 1200, but that's a just a semantic. It's basically like anything that's super restrictive, and it depends on the person. So for some people, 1,900 calories is super restrictive. So like for me, 1,900 calories would be super super restrictive and unhealthy. But I'm talking about like very restrictive diets. These like where if you know your calorie maintenance or your calorie deficit and you're going way way below that, this is what I'm talking about. But for most females, which it tends to be the majority of my listeners, this tends to be in that like 900 to 1,200 calorie range. But 1,300 calories, 1,400 calories, those are still super super restrictive. So how can a super restrictive diet make you gain fat? How can you gain fat when you're eating too little? I know it's not because of starvation mode. It's not that your body magically starts producing fat because you're in starvation mode. There's a lot to this. There's one is this behavioral consequences, and then one is going to be physiological consequences. So actually things that happen to your body when you're doing this. So let's start with behaviorally. So this one's actually pretty simple. It's not, and when I say it's simple, I'm not saying that it's easy to change, but it's simple. When you're eating super, super restrictive, you just can't do it for a long period of time. So when you're doing 1,100 calorie diet or 1,000 calorie diet, and you try to stick to that, it's very, very difficult, which means the chances that you're going to stick it out for a long period of time are low, and you're probably going to last a couple days or a couple weeks, and then you go into the fuck it mode where you're like, well, this isn't working because again, like I'm going to keep going back to this. You're only fucking focusing on body composition. That's the only thing you're focusing on. So you go on this 1,200 calorie diet, you don't give a shit that you're trashing your metabolism, you're trashing your thyroid, you're trashing your adrenals, you're trashing your mental health, you're trashing your physical performance, you're fucking up your metabolism, if I didn't say that already. You don't care about any of that. You just want to lose the weight. And then you don't lose the weight quick. And you're like, well, why am I doing this super restrictive diet? This sucks. So then you go, fuck it, and then you go into binge mode. So let's say you ate 1,200 calories Monday through Thursday. Friday, you go into binge mode, you eat 3,000 calories. And then Saturday, you eat 2,500 calories. And then Sunday, you try to starve yourself again, or you just say, fuck it, I'll start again on Monday and eat another 2,500 calories. Those 3 days or 2 days screwed up the whole week. So now you starved yourself for no reason. And we'll get into this in a minute, but you also put your body in a position to where it's going to be easier to gain fat now. When you go on these super, super restrictive diets, it's just not sustainable. It puts you in a shit mood. It makes you resent the diet. And if you do this too frequently, what's going to happen is your view of nutrition and fitness is going to be distorted. It's going to be skewed. You're going to view weight loss nutrition as super restrictive. And every time you think about doing it, you are going to associate it with this super restrictive approach. So now, not only have you temporarily screwed up nutrition, but you've not permanently because it's fixable, but like you've long-term fucked up your relationship with dieting. Because realistically, dieting or improving your nutrition, as I like to call it, is a pretty simple process, and it's actually very sustainable and very flexible. But you, and I hate to say you like I'm blaming you, I understand that like maybe you weren't just given this information at the time you tried these. I'm not saying that it's your fault and you suck. It may not be your fault, but it's your responsibility to learn and to fix it. When you've been on these crash diets, you are screwing up your view of what nutrition is. So every time you try to lose weight in the future, and again, the more times you yo-yo, the more you're screwing up your metabolism. But every time you try it in the future, you're going to have a reference point of this, of I have to eat 1,200 calories. I have to eat 1,100 calories in order to lose weight. And you're going to resent it. You're going to fear it. And you're going to go into it thinking it's going to suck, which is just going to increase the likelihood that you are not going to stick to it, which leads to that fuck it behavior of, oh, I can't lose weight, so why try? I can't do this 1,200 calorie thing anymore. What's the point? Why bother? If you had just developed a sustainable habit, eating an adequate amount of calories, you may have lost weight, guess what? A little bit slower, but you would have kept it off and you wouldn't have gone years and years and years yo-yoing back and forth. Also, with these low-calorie diets, there's a tendency to just inaccurately track your food. So when you're eating super restrictive, there's two ways it goes. Either one person is super, super strict and they damage themselves physically and metabolically, and then they're in a position where they put on fat easier, or there are people who are just like on the diet, but they're not necessarily being honest about what it is because it's so restrictive they can't stick to it. And I've had this happen before. I remember working with, I was doing a challenge and I had probably 50 people on the challenge and I was assigning everyone specific calorie and protein goals. And this one woman, and she ended up becoming a client. She saw great results and I like her a lot. So, and she knows this story. So I always goof on her about it. But she was like, you have me like eating like 1,700 calories. I just feel like I'm more of like a 1,200 calorie girl. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? She's like, I just always like, that's like, I feel like I should be eating. I'm a 1,200. She said, I'm a 1,200 calorie girl. And I go, well, have you eaten 1,200 calories before? She's like, yeah. I go, well, how long did you stick to it? She's like, I don't know, like 3 months. I go, okay. And were you actually eating 1,200 calories? And she's like, yeah. I go, were you tracking everything? And she goes, well, if I had like a cookie or something, like I wouldn't track it. I'm like, okay, yeah. So you weren't actually eating 1,200 calories. You were tracking 1,200 calories, but you were actually eating more, which again, it builds a relationship of like feeling like you need to lie or fib your way through the tracking because it's just so restrictive. Whereas if we build a better relationship with food and a more a bigger calorie number and eating enough, you're gonna feel free to fit in some fun foods here and there. Let's talk about though what goes on underneath the hood. So like physiologically, what physically happens to you when you're doing these crash diets. Now, um, there's the like short-term temporary effects, and then there's the long-term effects of doing this over and over and over again. So short-term, when you're doing these like crash diets, you are pretty much burning away at your muscle tissue. So if you want to lose weight or improve pretty much all the markers that we talked about, physical health, mental health, physical performance, and body composition, your two biggest weapons are going to be muscle and metabolism. So if you can support lean muscle and support a healthy metabolism, you are going to be able to lose body fat, look lean and toned, but also improve physical performance, also improve physical health, and also improve your mental health just by the process of working out and getting better sleep and all that stuff. Now, if you could just simplify everything down to muscle and metabolism, it makes the process easier because every decision you make nutritionally and training wise should be to support muscle and metabolism. If you continuously do that, you will have results for life. Now, it sounds super simple, but it's just not easy, not because it's super difficult, but because people make it difficult by having all these self-limiting beliefs and all these distorted relationships with food caused by these yo-yo diets and 1200 calorie diets that they've been on over and over. But to support muscle and metabolism, you need to eat enough protein, eat an adequate amount of calories, strength train, and make sure obviously you're getting good sleep and stuff like that. And we can talk about the quality of food that you're eating too also plays into it. But overall, you have to eat enough protein, you have to strength train, and you have to get in adequate amount of calories. And it also means you can't be in a calorie deficit year round. So why is this hard for people to work with? Because they're used to doing these super restrictive diets. Now, when you do a super restrictive diet, you harm your metabolism and you sacrifice lean muscle. So think about what I just said. If you want long-term fat loss and you want to improve body composition, you have to support muscle and metabolism. But people go on crash diets over and over again, and crash diets damage muscle and metabolism. So if you know that, how crazy does that process sound? The two biggest weapons I have for fat loss, I'm saying it again because it's so important, are muscle and metabolism. So I'm going to go on this diet that damages my muscle and metabolism. How does that make sense? Like, how does that make sense for someone? The reason why is they just don't know. Like, people associate muscle with being a meathead or being jacked or being bulky, and they associate metabolism with you either have a fast one or you have a slow one. They just think I was either born with a slow metabolism or I was born with a fast metabolism. Do some people have are there differing like metabolisms between different human beings? Of course, everyone's metabolism is different, but most of it comes from your behavior, not from your genetics. So your genetics are going to make up like that last 5%, which means if one person has a really fast, if one person is born with a better metabolism and one person is born with a worse metabolism, and they go on the same calorie deficit and they lift the same amount of weight, the person with the better metabolism might see 5% more results. So 5%, that's like the extra 5 pounds. It is not the difference between 25 and 30 pounds. It's not the difference between someone in shape and someone who is morbidly obese. Your metabolism does not control that much. Your behavior controls that much. So if you are given these tools to support muscle and support metabolism, you can now make better decisions with what you're going to do from a nutrition and training standpoint. When you go on a 1200 calorie diet, again, you damage muscle and metabolism. All right. And when you do this chronically over and over and over again, and let's also keep in mind that people do not have baseline behaviors. This is so fucking important. This is what I spend the first 2 months or more of doing with my clients is just creating baseline behaviors, creating behaviors that you can sustain year round when you're not trying to lose fat. And that sounds like Chinese to someone, to an American person who doesn't speak Chinese. Like, they're like, well, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not trying to lose fat. I've been trying to lose fat my entire adult life. Yeah, because you've been fucking yo-yo dieting your whole life. You shouldn't be trying to lose fat year round, because losing fat hurts muscle and metabolism. You want to build muscle, you want to support metabolism most of the time. And again, you're looking at this as diet versus not on diet. You have to have baseline behaviors, things that you do when you're not dieting. And again, I know that sounds crazy because people are used to eating 1,200 calories and then just going back to whatever the fuck they were doing before. Well, going back to whatever you were doing before, that should be your baseline behavior. So if your baseline behavior is going to McDonald's every morning and skipping breakfast and eating pasta and meatballs every night, then you're never going to lose the weight you want to lose. Your baseline behaviors need to be in line with a healthy lifestyle that supports muscle metabolism. So what does that mean? Eating enough protein, getting enough meals throughout the day, eating adequate calories, right? So when you're done losing the 20, 30 pounds, that's what you go back to. You eat enough protein, you eat enough calories, eat pretty much the same foods as you were eating when you were losing the weight. You're just eating them in larger quantities with a little bit more flexibility. That's really how simple it is. But anyway, when you go on these 1,200 calorie diets, these 1,100 calorie diets, your body is going to get rid of the most expensive, what is the word I'm looking for? The most expensive tool or whatever it has on its a piece of equipment that it has, which is lean muscle. So lean muscle is like an employee at a company that is super productive, super on time, team player, like just a model employee. That's muscle. The problem is those employees cost a lot of money, or in terms of your body, they cost a lot of calories. So when the company is going through rough times, a good company with a good, employee engagement and good long-term mindset will do whatever they can to keep that employee, because they know we're going through a shitstorm right now, but this guy's a team player. If we keep him on staff, when we come out on the other end, things are gonna be okay, right? So this can be like when you're going through a stressful time in your life, things are hectic, or you can't get workouts in, or you're sick. You still want to support muscle metabolism, because that's that model employee that's going to be ride or die for you, and is going to bring your company to the next level, right? A bad company will get rid of that employee when they're going through rough times, right? Because they're expensive, they cost a lot. Most people treat their bodies like a bad company. As soon as shit gets tough or they get stressed, they sacrifice their best fucking asset, which is lean muscle. They get rid of it but your body works that way. Your body only adapts to the signals you send it. You're the CEO. You're the one calling the shots, but your body is going to carry out those actions. So if you're starving yourself and you're running yourself into the ground doing fucking HIIT classes at 5 a.m. on an empty stomach after you haven't eaten in 12 hours, your body's going to go, damn, I guess the CEO doesn't want to keep lean muscle. We got to get rid of this guy because he's costing us way too many fucking calories. Because lean muscle burns a ton of calories. So when you're not eating a lot of food, your body gets rid of lean muscle. It doesn't get rid of body fat. It gets rid of lean muscle. So this is when you see people, they're working out all the time, they're starving themselves, and maybe they're losing weight on the scale, but they're not actually looking any leaner or more toned. They're just losing scale weight. That's lean muscle. You're losing lean muscle, right? So when you lose lean muscle, what happens? What did I just say that lean muscle does? Lean muscle is the model employee, right? It costs a ton of calories. It burns a ton of calories every day. So now, when you lose lean muscle, you burn less calories. Your body is adjusting down to meet the starvation diet that you are putting it on. So when you're eating 1,200 calories, your body gets rid of expensive lean muscle so that you can survive on 1,200 calories. Now that you've gotten rid of that lean muscle, your body now burns less calories throughout the day, because it's like we have to survive on 1,200. But what did we say at the beginning of the podcast? The diet's not sustainable. So you get off the diet. Now you've built a body that has less lean muscle and burns less calories throughout the day. So now when you go from 1,200 calories back to eating whatever you were eating before because you don't have a baseline of habits, you now put on body fat much quicker because your body's like, we got rid of that expensive lean muscle. We don't burn as many calories a day. Oh shit. Sharon's now feeding us 2,000 calories a day. Let's store some body fat because we don't know when she's going to make us starve again. And we don't want to have all this lean, expensive muscle tissue on. Do you see my point there? And now picture doing that 25 fucking times over the course of your adult life. Every crash diet that you've been on, you threw away lean muscle, you burn a little less calories, and then you put back on body fat. Then you do it again. Then you do it again. Then you do it again. 25 fucking times. And that sounds like a lot, but I've met people who told me they've done 8 diets in the last 2 years, and they're in their 40s. How many times do you think they've done this in their entire life? Like, that's what happens. And it's on a lot of these companies and influencers who put people on them who don't know any better. And then people like me and good coaches out there have to pick up the scraps and try and help these people, and then get, have to, and not that we mind doing it because it's our job, but it's crazy. People should be provided with this information. But like, when I'm helping a client and I'm helping them, literally trying to heal them, I'm trying to help heal them. I'm giving them, telling them to eat more food, telling them to eat more protein, trying to heal their body, help them build back their metabolism, help them build lean muscle. I'm trying to help them improve their mental health, help them improve their physical health, help them improve their physical performance, their relationship with food, telling them it's okay to eat bread, it's okay to eat potatoes, it's okay to eat rice, eat a little bit more, like lift a little bit more weight, let's, keep going with it. And I'm generally met with, oh my fucking God, the scale's going up. I'm freaking out. And again, this is my job. I don't mind doing it. I'm not talking shit about my clients. I love them, but like, I'm combating all this shit, this 1,200 calorie diets, you should eat 40 grams of fat a day. Oh, here's a high five, you stayed under your 1,100 calorie goal for the week. Like, it's crazy. And then when I'm trying to help the person improve all 100% of their health fitness markers that we talked about at the beginning, the main thing that I met with for the first few weeks is, oh my fucking God, I'm freaking out, the scale's going up. Oh my God, my clothes feel a little tighter. Oh my God. Well, yeah, you trained your body to get rid of lean muscle and put on body fat. You trained your body to do that. So when we first start increasing your food, you're going to put on a little bit of body fat because that's how you trained your body to respond. But if we stick with it and we push past that discomfort and we heal our body, on the other end, you will have more lean muscle, which means you will burn more calories, which means you will burn more body fat, which means you will be leaner, you will improve your metabolism, you will improve your physical performance, you will improve your physical health, you will improve your mental health, and you'll improve your body composition. I'm trying to get you to all 4. But most people will abandon the entire fucking process because they're not getting results on their timeline in 25% of what they're chasing. It is crazy, okay? That is why 1,200 calories will make you fat, because when you're doing it, you are throwing away this very valuable, like, fountain of youth of muscle and metabolism. You're throwing that away just to see the scale go down quick. And then the scale goes down quick, you go back to what you were doing before, but now you're burning less calories throughout the day, so you put on body fat a little bit faster, and then you get frustrated, so you go on another crash diet, and it's yo-yo diet. That's the definition of yo-yo dieting. And that is why 1,200 calories will make you gain fat. It's not because 1,200 calories is too much, it's because you are training your body to get rid of lean muscle and to put on body fat. And you're putting it in a position to have a damaged metabolism and to be continuously getting rid of the fountain of youth just to see slight drops in the scale at a slightly faster rate. Oh, man, it's really crazy. And I don't know if you can tell that I'm passionate about this stuff, but I'm out here, guys, doing it, talking to people, helping people, seeing this every day, having these conversations. And I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to help. But you have to understand that good coaches out there are trying to help you, and you are running back to toxic, abusive relationships and avoiding the stuff that is actually going to help you. And trust me, like, I know a lot of really good coaches. This isn't me saying that like I'm the only one. There's thousands of us. They're all out there. They're trying to help you. They're trying to give you good information. But you have a tendency to run back to these abusive, toxic relationships with food, which is a whole other conversation about, trauma and trauma responses. And again, it's not your fault. It's just your responsibility to fix it. But if you have someone who is telling you, hey, you should eat more food, you should eat more protein, you should eat more carbs, you should heal your body, you should heal your metabolism. Hey, it's okay if the scale goes up a pound. It's okay because we're trying to help heal you so that you can then lose 25, 30, 15, 50, whatever your goal is. Maybe the scale is going to go up a couple pounds at first, so then you can then on the back end lose tens more, right? We're trying to help. But but that is met with resistance, with fear, with sometimes anger, with sometimes frustration. But if you know, I'm trying to think of a typical fit influencer name. We'll say Amy. But if Amy, the fitness influencer, tells you to do a greens shake in the morning and a 3-day juice fast and to eat 900 calories a day, people will run to that. Like they will trample over each other and be like, I want to look like her. But if you have a good coach saying, hey, you should eat more, you should help, you should heal your body, you should focus on trying to not just lose weight, but improve all these other markers. And it's okay if the scale doesn't go down as fast. Let's just stick with it long term so that you can have a flexible, sustainable lifestyle. That's met with, oh my God, but I just need to see results fast. And that's the mindset switch that we need to make out of here. All right. And that's the work we're trying to do. So with these 1,200 calorie diets, to simplify this, it is damaging to your muscle metabolism, and muscle metabolism are the two keys to lose fat long term, to improve your physical health, to improve your mental health, to improve your physical performance. So if you're making decisions that are damaging your muscle metabolism, it's going to be harder for you to lose weight in the long term. It might require that you take 6 to 12 months and really commit to building lean muscle, getting stronger in the gym, slowly increasing your calories, and feeling as good as possible so that your body then just loses fat without any effort, because that's where we want to get you. Also, these crash diets, as I'm sure you know if you're listening to this, it's not sustainable. You can't stick with it for a long period of time. So might as well try something that you can stick with for life. And I'm sorry if I got super passionate about stuff and seemed like I was angry at you, because I'm not. I'm just get frustrated with the way that fitness is projected out there to people, and it's usually poking at people's fears and insecurities and telling them that you can see results really, really fast, and that it's you should just suck it up and starve yourself to be skinny. And I don't want to see you go through that, because I genuinely care. If you couldn't tell right now, I genuinely care about this stuff. So I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this, and I hope it made sense to you. I'm going to keep tweaking and refining this message to make it more and more clear, so I can continue to step on my soapbox and talk about it. But this is what I'm passionate about: is improving 100% of your health and fitness results, not sacrificing 75% of them to see improvements in 25%. And if that doesn't, if you're not down to ride with that, that's okay. But if you talk to any other good quality coach, I'm sure they would tell you the same thing. If there was any value you got out of this episode, I would appreciate that you share it. And I really hope that you take this in and really do some deep diving and be objective with yourself and be like, am I someone who chronically damages my muscle metabolism? And if the answer is yes, then we just got to fix that. And I can give you steps on how to do that. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.